So we're going to calculate by hand the linear regression equation that goes through the points 2, 6, 5, 10, and 10, 13. This is going to be calculating a linear regression equation by hand. Regression equation by hand. And we're going to start with the 3 points that we're using: 2, 6, 5, 10, and 10, 13. Now, our first step is to determine how many points we have. So, determine number of points. My n equals, I have 1, 2, 3 points. So my n equals 3. Okay. My second step is going to be to add up all of the x values. Okay, so step 2, add all the x values. So my sum of x is going to be equal to 2 plus 5 plus 10. That's going to be equal to 17. My step 3 is going to be add up all the y values. So my sum of y is going to be 6 plus 10 plus 13. So this would be 29. My fourth step is going to be to square each of the x values, add it up, and then add it up. So square each x value, then add. X value, then add. So I would take my sum of x squared is equal to 2 squared plus 5 squared plus 10 squared, which is equal to 4 plus 25 plus 100, which is equal to 129. My fifth step is I'm going to multiply each x by each y and then add it up. So step 5, multiply x and y, then add. So my sum of x, y would be 2 times 6 plus 5 times 10 plus 10 times 13. So this would be 12 plus 50 plus 130. So this would be 192. My sixth step I'm gonna take my answer from step 2 and square it. So it's whatever my sum of x was, but then I square it. Actually, let me take. So it's going to be add the x values, then square. And this was our answer from step 2. So our answer from step 2 was 17. So 17 squared is 289. So now we have all of our pieces. We have all of the elements we need. Now we're ready to start plugging it into the equation. So I'm going to write these down here so that we have them available for reference. We have n is 3, sum of x is 17, sum of y is 29, sum of x squared is 129, sum of xy is 192, and then sum of x squared is 289. Okay, so now we're going to plug everything into our equation for slope. So remember, if we use the equation y equals ax plus b, a is slope and b is the y-intercept. So we take a and we say a is equal to the number of terms times the sum of xy minus the sum of the x values times the sum of the y values divided by the number of terms times the sum of each x value squared minus the sum of all of the x values squared. Okay, so now we're going to plug in. We're going to say a is equal to something times something minus something times something on top of something times something and something squared. Okay. I'm going to go back to, let's use yellow here. So I know my n is 3 right here. So I'm going to plug in 3 there. I know my sum of xy is here. That's 192. So that's going to go there. Sum of x is 17. So that's going to go there. Sum of y is 29. So that's going to go there. My n again is 3. My sum of x squared is right here, 129. And my sum of x is 17. So now I'm going to simplify. I'm going to say a is equal to 3 times 192 is 3 times 192 is 576. 17 minus 29 is 17 times 29. 17 times 29 is 493. 3 times 129 is 387. And 17 squared, 289. Then on the top, we have 576 minus 493, which is 83, divided by 387 minus 289, which is 98. And I get 83 divided by 98 is 0. And let's round here. It's about 0.85. So this means the slope of the linear regression equation is about 0.85. Slope of the linear regression equation is about 0.85. Okay, so now we're going to calculate the b value. And for b, we're going to use the formula b is equal to the sum of the y values times the sum of the x values squared times minus the sum of the x values times the sum of the product of the x and y values divided by the number of terms times the sum of the x values squared minus sum of the x values squared. Okay, so now we're going to plug in. So this means b is equal to something times something, something, and something divided by something times something minus something squared. Okay, so let's start plugging in. I know my sum of y is 29. Sum of x squared is 129. Sum of x is 17. Sum of xy is 192. My n is 3. Sum of x squared is 129. And sum of x is 17. Okay. Let's use light blue this time. So this means that my b is going to be equal to, it's 29 times 129. It's going to be 3,741 minus 17 times 192, 3,264 divided by 3 times 129 is 387 minus 17 squared is 289. So b is equal to 3,741 minus 3,264 on the top. We get 477 divided by 387 minus 289 is 98, which is approximately equal to 4.87, which means the y-intercept of the linear regression equation is 4.87. So our final answer would be the least squares regression line, the least squares regression equation is y equals 0.85x plus 4.87. That's it. You just calculated slope and y-intercept using linear regression by hand.